Good morning students, welcome to today's class. In the previous session we had already learnt about the selection statements. We had seen the if-else statement and the different forms of if-else and also the switch case. We also saw how to incorporate an if into a switch. Today we are going to learn the Java looping statements, that is your iterative constructs. We are going to focus on the for loop today, and we will also have a brief view of what is looping. Okay, now let's see what are the loops in Java and what looping is exactly. So looping in programming language is a feature which facilitates the execution of a set of instructions repeatedly while some condition evaluates to true. There are three kinds of looping constructs: for loop, while loop and do while loop. These looping constructs are also known as iterative constructs. Now what is an iteration? Basically when one time a thing executes or a set of statement execute, then that is one iteration. We will look into more detail as we go further. Okay, now let's see a real life example of looping. Children, most of you have learnt about water cycle. Now water cycle, what does it do? Evaporation takes place. If the sun is there, then condensation takes place, and then precipitation takes place, and this is how the life goes on, and this cycle continues, and this is an endless cycle till the time life exists on earth. So the condition which will stop this water cycle is when the earth finishes, or when life does not exist on the earth. That is when the this water cycle will end. So this is the condition for the water cycle to end. Okay, let's see another example. uh, this is your real life example, what we do in our daily routine. We get up in the morning, then we go do our morning jobs, then we go for a work or a study, if whatever, based upon what is our age. Then we eat lunch, come back, eat dinner, sleep, and this routine carries on unless and until we have a holiday, or we may fall ill. So in this we can have a condition: if we fall ill, the routine changes. If there is a holiday, that routine changes. Now we can also have a condition: okay, we are like in amidst lockdown, we are having online classes. Now when will these online classes end? When the lockdown is over. So till the time we are having online class till the time we are having lockdown, the online classes are going to go on, and later on the online classes are going to end. Now let's see what are the requirements of a loop. Now requirements of a loop are basically, we need to identify the actions or the patterns that repeat. That is, we have to see and we have to identify what set of statements are going to repeat and what are not going to repeat. We also need to identify the loop ending condition. Now how can this be determined? It can be determined as the number of times a pattern repeats or a specific condition that needs to be satisfied for the loop to stop. For example, you are studying a topic and you are not able to learn. So if you are able to learn in 3 times, so the loop ending condition is 3. So if you are able to learn in 5 times, the loop ending condition is 5. And let's say if we have an exam, now we are going to be busy till the time exam ends. So that is the loop ending condition. In that case, when the exam ends, we will be free. So in that case, we have to see what is the set of statements that have to be repeated. Like during the exams, we have to study more. So the studying is the set of statement which is to be repeated during the exams, and till when we are busy? Till the time exams are there. So the loop ending condition is the exams, that is the end of exams. Okay, let's see the for loop. Now what is a for loop? For loop is also known as a counter loop. It is basically an entry control loop. In this, test condition is evaluated first. If the condition is true, then the body of the loop is executed. If the condition is not satisfied, the body of the loop will not be executed and the loop will terminate. There are 3 parts of the loop. Now the syntax of the for loop is: for, first we'll give the initialization, then we'll give the test condition, and then we'll give the update expression. Okay, Now let's see with this diagram, children. Now over here, this is initialization. First of all, we will initialize the values, then we will check for the condition. Okay, is this condition true? If the condition is true, then the body of the loop will be executed. But after it has been executed, we will go back and we will update the new value. Once the value has been updated, it will again check for the condition. If the condition is true, then again it will be executed, and so on. It will go for updation, it will check for condition, and then it will again repeat this process. But if it is false, then it will come out of here only, and it will not get into the loop, and the statements outside the loop which are written over here in this on the 7th number will be executed. So in this, the statement outside the loop on the 7th number over here in the end will be executed if it is false. Okay, now initialization is executed once before the loop begins. The test condition is executed until the condition becomes false, and the update expression is executed at the end of each iteration. Okay, this is what I tried to explain when I said when the body, if the condition is true, then the body of the loop is executed. If the test condition is not satisfied, the body of the loop will not be executed and the loop will terminate. Now let's see few examples of real life for the for loop. Now, according to a real Hindu wedding rituals, marriage is not completed until bride and groom don't take 7 vows. 7 vows over here in if I talk about the language Hindi, it is called feras. So if until and until they take 7 vows, the Hindu wedding is not completed. So it will start for sorry, it will start with I is equal to 1, I is less than equal to 7, and I plus plus. Now I is equal to 1 is the initialization over here. It is going to check, is it less than equal to 7? Yes. So it will go and complete one vow, and then it will come and update, and the second I will be executed, that is now I is equal to 2. I plus plus means I is equal to I plus 1. Now I becomes 2. So is 2 less than equal to 7? No. So again it will come in, and again you will take one vow, and again it will be updated. Now I becomes 3. Now when I becomes 3, again it will check, is I less than equal to 7? No. So again the body of the loop will be executed, and it will continue till and unless and until it becomes 7. Now let's see what happens when it becomes 7. When it becomes 7, it will come and check, is I equal to less than equal to 7? It is equal to 7. When it is equal to 7, you will have to take one more row, and the value will be updated again. Now sorry, the value will be updated again, and it will become 8. Now it will check, is 8 less than equal to 7? No. So it will not go inside this loop, it will come out of this over here, and it will whatever statement is or whatever rituals are there after the marriage, that is the wedding has been completed, and whatever rituals are there that have to be performed. So this is how the for loop works. Let's see it with an example. Now let's see if we have to print the first 5 natural numbers. These are the first 5 natural numbers. Over here I have taken num is equal to 1, num is less than equal to 5, num plus plus, and I am printing the values. So when num is 1, it is less than equal to 5, 1 will be printed. When again, now after this it will make it 2, num equal to 2, and when num becomes 2, it will again increment, and it will again check, is 2 less than equal to 5? No. So again it will print 2. Then it will become 3. Now it will not print at that time. So the print screen and the updation screen is different. Updation is in the background and the printing is on screen what we see. So when it becomes 3, 3 is less than equal to 5? Yes, it is equal to 5. So sorry, it is less than 5, so it will print 3. And the same way, when it becomes 5, it will go up and it will see, is 5 equal to 5? Yes, it is equal to 5. It will print, and it goes up and it increments again. Now num becomes 6, but num is not less than equal to 5. That is, 6 is less than not less than equal to 5. It is greater than 5. So what will happen, it will come out of the loop, and whatever statement, if it would have been here, over here, would have been executed. So that means when the loop terminates, the for loop terminates when the value of num becomes false. That means the condition becomes false. So till the time the condition is true, the for loop will be executed. Once the condition is false, the loop terminates and it will execute whatever statements are following the for loop. Okay. Now children, let's see the next slide. Okay, there are various variations in the for loop which you haven't done earlier. First is your multiple initializations and update expressions. Then is your optional expressions. Then is your infinite loops and empty for loop, that is your time delay loop. Let's see multiple initializations and update expressions. Children, you might not have seen this kind of form in the for. Over here I have taken int n is equal to 0, m is less than 10 and n is less than 10. Here I have multiple conditions over here. Now these multiple conditions have to be separated by a logical operators using and or, then only these multiple conditions can be satisfied. We have over here multiple update expressions also, which is separated by a comma. Can you see that I have written m plus plus comma n plus plus? This is how we give multiple update expressions. Over here I could have another variable. Since I don't require it, that is why I have not written. I could have written int n equal to 0 comma m is equal to 2. I could have initialized m over here, instead of writing here m is equal to 2, I could have written int n equal to 0 comma m equal to 2 in the same line. Now n and m also would be separated by a comma, but in the condition, when you have to give the test condition, you have to use the logical operators and or. This will actually result into a boolean value. So this boolean value, till the time this boolean value is true, the loop will be executed, and once it is not true, it will be false. So this is how you can actually give your multiple initializations and conditions and your update expressions. And the loop will be working in the same manner till the time m is less than 10 and n is less than 10. It will print the value of n. You can see it has printed 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and once it becomes more than 10 or equal to 10, since I have not written over here equal to, the loop will end, and whatever is outside the loop, the value of m is 10. The value of m is 10. Why? Because once it becomes 10 m, the condition becomes false. So if the condition becomes false, it is not going to print, because since I have written m is equal to 2, so 2, then it will become 3, it will become 4, and m will turn 10 first rather than n, because it is already 2 to 3 values ahead of it, 0 1 2. And over here when it becomes 9, it will print till 7. When m becomes 9, it will print 7. When it becomes 10, it will break and it will come out of the loop, and the value of m would be printed, that is your value of m is 10. Why value of m is printed only once? Because this statement system.out.println value of m is written in the end after the for loop. So this statement is not repeated, that is why it is printed once. The set of statements which is repeated should be written within the loop, and the set of statements which are not to be repeated should be written outside the loop. Okay, let's see the next slide, and let's see the optional expressions over here. Now optional expressions are basically, children, the initialization, your test condition and your update expression, all the three are rather optional. We can omit one, or we can omit all of them. So in a for loop you can skip initialization expression, test expression and update expression. You can omit any or all of these expressions in a for loop. For example, over here I have initialized the loop variable and we want to omit one of the initial expression. We can write the loop as follows. I have written for and then I've started the brackets, then semicolon, test expression, semicolon, update expression or expressions, whatever you want, and then the loop body. The semicolon must be present if you want to skip the initialization expression. Now children, in this example, can you see that I have not written the initialization and the update expression. The initialization and the update expressions are inside the, and one is inside the loop, that is your update expression, that is your I plus plus I have written, and your initialization is outside the loop. I have written I is equal to 1 outside before the loop starts. So I have initialized before and I have incremented inside, and I have skipped the initialization and the update expression in the loop. So this is how we can, you know, omit or we can skip from the one or more of the expressions. And in the second example, towards the right hand side, children, the same thing is being done, but over here I have just skipped the initialization. So initialization is skipped over here and the update expression is given, and both of them are going to give the same result as shown in the output window or the terminal window, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and then it is printing the sum of first 10 numbers is 55. This is what would be the result of both the programs, and the output would be as shown in the terminal window. So this is how we can skip the update expression and the other expressions in the for loop. Now let's see an infinite loop. Now infinite loop can be created also in many forms. Over here I have skipped one of the update expression. I have written x is equal to 10 and I have not given any update test condition, and I have written x minus minus. Now I have printed, this is an infinite loop. Now children, x will remain 10 forever. We do not have any value which is going to check for it, and once it is not going to check, so it will print once and then it will decrement, and since we do not have any condition to be checked, so this will be an infinite loop and it will never end. In the same way, we can also create infinite loops by creating an kind of this kind of loop wherein I have not written any of these expressions. I have not mentioned any initialization, test condition or your expression. So I would again resume that all the three expressions in a for loop are optional, or they can be you know, they can be used to create infinite loops as shown in this. We could also, you know, omit the update expression in order to make it infinite. You can try doing all of these on your computers, and we will see how it works. Okay, let's see the next slide. Now this is an empty for loop. This is basically used to create time delays. When the loop body of the for loop contains no statement, then it is called an empty loop. In such cases, a Java loop contains a null statement, that is an empty statement. An empty for loop finds its applications in the time delay loop, where there is a need to increment or decrement the value of some variable without doing anything else, just for introducing some delay, as you might have seen in video games, that the score of your name remains on screen and then the other message appears. This is how, you know, the video games work. They create a time delay loop. It actually displays the screen, on screen it displays the score or your name for some time, and after that the casting of the video game or whatever starts, and then you can move further. This is used to create time delay, that is you can have a screen display for some time, and after that something else is going to happen, and for that you need to have either a nested for loop, or you could have long values, like over here I have written double x is equal to 0, x is less than equal to I think it is 1 crore, more than 1 crore, and then I have written x plus plus, and then I have written your game is over. That means if I would have displayed this message would appear after some time of the screen display. For some time the screen would be empty, and after that your game is over would be displayed. If I would have displayed a message before that, before the for loop, your name is so and so, and or your score is so and so, then it will appear your score is so and so, and then it will remain on the screen for some time, and after that it will give the message as your game is over. So in that case I have not written any this kind of thing, but you can do so and try it, and then you can discuss it with me whenever you feel free to discuss. Now there are few Java programs which we are going to do. Okay, write a Java program to print all odd numbers till 10. Write a Java program to input 5 numbers and print all odd numbers. Write a Java program to input 5 numbers and print the sum of all the numbers. Write a Java program to input 5 numbers and count the total number of odd numbers. Now let's see them. I have done 2 at a time. Over here the first Java program is write a program to print all odd numbers till 10. Now the odd numbers start from 1 and till 10, I think it is till 9 it will be printed. So that is why I have written 1 is I is equal to 1, I is less than equal to 10, I plus equal to 2. Now I is equal to 1 will initialize the value of I equal to I to 1, and I is less than equal to 10 will actually check whether 1 is less than equal to 10. If it is so, it is going to print 1, and then it will update I plus equal to 2 means I is equal to I plus 2. What was the initial value of I? 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Now is 3 less than equal to 10? Yes. So it will print 3, and so on it will continue till 9. Now when it becomes 9, 9 is less than equal to 10? Yes, it is less than equal to 10. It will print 9 and it will come and increment it to 11. Now 11 is less than equal to 10? No. So it will come out of the loop and the loop will terminate. This is how it works. Let's see the another example. Write a Java program to input 5 numbers and print all odd numbers. Now children, you know how to input a number. I told you in the previous session also that the object creation statement should be out of the loop or out of the constructs whatever you are using, or the out of the statements. So that is why I have written the scanner class syntax outside the for loop. Now you know how to enter a number and you know how to check for an odd number. So if I omit this statement of just hold a second. Now if I omit this statement for int I is equal to 1, I is less than equal to 5, I plus plus, and just look into this part of the program from enter a number till the braces end of the if. Now if I look into this, this is simply that you are entering a number and you are checking that the odd it is a or the number is an odd number or not. Just above that I have repeated this program for 5 times. That is, I have written a loop I is equal to 1, I is less than equal to 5, I plus plus. So children, try to understand that the same program which works for one number is to be repeated for 5 numbers. So that is why this entire thing, what is enter a number, next int, n percentage 2 and the system.out.println statement, these are the set of statements which have to be repeated. So I have put all these statements inside the loop. This is how we work in a for loop and we repeat the statements. Till now you had not learned how to input values from the user. So you were not able to input 5 numbers, but now you will be able to input 5 numbers separately, and you will be able to check whether the number is odd or even and display it if it is odd. Okay, now let's see another example. Write a Java program to input 5 numbers and print the sum of all the numbers. Now children, over here you know how to calculate the sum of 2 numbers. If I have one number, I have another number, I will add 1 to the another number. If I have 3 numbers, then I will have 1 plus 2, I will get some sum, and in that sum I will add the sum of the I will add the third number. That means I will add the third number to the sum of the first and the second number. And if I have 4 numbers, I will add the sum of the fourth number to the sum of the first, second and third number. This is how we actually add numbers. We keep on adding 1 plus 2. So we will obtain a sum, and to that sum we will add the third number, and to that the sum of all those three numbers will add the fourth number, and so on. So the same concept is being applied in this. I have entered a number, I have taken the sum initial value to 0. So initially sum was 0. So once you encounter a number, let's say I have encountered 12, sum plus 12 is 0 plus 12 is what? 12. Then I enter another number. Now the value of sum is what? 12. 12 plus 2 is what? 14. Now the value of sum is 14. Then I have entered another number. Now 14 plus 3 is 17. 17 plus 2 is 19. 19 plus 1 is 20. So in the same manner, if I have done it for 5 numbers, I could have done it for 20 numbers, 30 numbers, and so on. This is how the loop works. The statements enter a number, int, and sum equal to sum plus n. These statements had to be repeated. So that I have put it inside the loop, and the display statement, the sum of the numbers, it has to be displayed once. So that is outside the loop. Let's see another example. Write a Java program to input 5 numbers and count the total number of odd numbers. Now here children, I have to count the total numbers. Now let's say if I say okay, few students come to my class. So few students, and I say okay, precisely 15 students. So I will count one by one, and then I will add 1 to the previous one. So it will become 2. Now in the same way, now I will add 1 to the previous 2. So it will become 3, and so on. So I have to add what? 1 at a time in this case. So if I say bring few books, and I precise, okay, I want 3 books from the rack or the shelf which is lying on the right side. So I'll go to the right side, I will count 1, and then I will count another, and I'll count another. That means I'll count 1 by 1 and keep adding the 1 to the previous number. So in that case, I have to add 1 at a time. So over here I have taken the variable as count. Again, the scanner class syntax is outside the loop because this is not to be repeated. Now enter a number. I have to enter a number. I have to accept the number, that is the next int statement would be included. Then I am checking if the number is an odd number or not. Now I have to see, okay, I have to take out those students, if I let's say the ones who are properly dressed. I want 5 students who are properly dressed out of the group of, let's say 20 students or 30 students. I'll take one, I'll check, okay, if he is dressed properly, I'll put him, make him stand separately. Then I will check another, then if he is dressed, he is not dressed properly, let him go. So another child, if he is dressed properly, then he will come and join the group of students who have to be selected or who have to come with me. This way I will select 5 students. This is how the work will go on. In the same way over here, I have entered a number. I have entered a number. Now I have checked whether it is an odd number. If it is an odd number, I have increased the counter from count equal to 0 to count plus 1. After the count has become 1, now again it will increment it. I'll have to go and check another child. So in the same way, I'll go and increment the number, and I will accept the number. Once the number comes, I will again check whether it is odd. I'll again check whether the child is dressed up properly or not, and then if it is so, then I will make him stand on the right side on or to the side of the selected students, and the counter will become now 2. That means 2 children have been selected, or there are 2 odd numbers now. In the same way, this process will repeat for 5 times. Once 5 times, I have to check all. Just in that case, I had taken let's say 20 students, so I have to do for 20 times. Here I have to input 5 numbers, and out of that only the ones who are odd, I have to pick them up and display the count of the odd numbers. So the total number of odd numbers entered here are 3. Since I have entered a number, it was 4, then I entered a number, it was 2, then I entered a number, it was 11, then 5, and then 7. So 11, 5 and 7 are odd numbers, so it has displayed the total number of odd numbers entered is 3. Now children, these are a few questions based on the for loop. these are actually based on what you had done in the previous class and what I have taught you today, how to input a number and then move further. You can try doing these questions, and if you have any problem, then you can ask me, and you can be free to write it in the comment section. Thank you children for now. I'll be making another video in which I would be discussing few of these questions. If you have any doubts, please leave it in the comment section. I'll try to cover it in the next video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you again.